Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, Professor RJ Placone on Communication Excellence. I now have well over 30 videos. I hope if you're enjoying them, you'll take advantage of the free subscription. Today I'm going to talk about Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, or AOC as we know her. She can be a bit of a polarizing figure. There are certainly people who love her and people who dislike her immensely. I particularly find her to be very insightful, extremely brave, and willing to challenge some of the things that do need to be challenged. Regardless of how you may perceive her, I think her communication strategies deserve our attention. And I would think that Democrats, if they want to start to think about how to present themselves, should consider some of what she is currently doing. I think in particular, there are three strategies that she is very effective at that I think others may want to consider to emulate. The first is this emphasis on wealth inequality. I think that's going to become more and more of an issue as we push toward midterm elections in 2026, the next presidential election, because that gap is growing. I can think back to the 1980s when I worked in corporate America, and the difference between the average CEO pay and rank and file workers was about 25 to 1. Now the multiplier is so astronomical. Now we have a person like Elon Musk, whose wealth is equivalent to, you have to combine over 40% of the US population to get to one person's wealth. And the top 2%, you have to then combine the wealth of over 90% of Americans to equal the top. So the gap is growing. She talks about that endlessly. I think it's going to be more and more of an issue because I think for most Americans, we're still guided by a sense of fairness. I think that comes into play as we evaluate most things, including who we might vote for. So I think harping on it, is this fair? Is this kind of gap reasonable to accept? That's her first winning strategy. Second, she resists labeling. And, people want to label her extreme, leftist, any of a number of labels. And she pushes back and she'll say things like, well, people say I'm this or I'm that. Let's talk about what I believe in and whether or not you believe in those same things. So she's trying to present herself and her ideas apart from partisan labeling. And I think especially when she sticks to healthcare and living wages, so people don't have to make decisions on, do I buy groceries or do I get my medications this month? I think that's where it's safest. And I think those are strategies that other politicians are going to want to emphasize more and more going forward. The third area, in addition to the income inequality and the pushback on this desire to label everybody and simplify who folks represent, what they believe, etc., is how she presents herself as a leader. And I think the other day, she did an exceptionally good job in contrasting herself with, as she says, someone like Trump. This is what she said. I think this speaks to a big difference between someone like Trump and someone like me. Trump believes that if you don't vote for him, he doesn't have to be your leader. If you didn't vote for him, you don't deserve good things to happen. I don't care if someone voted for me or not. I don't care if someone is a Republican or an independent or a Democrat. I don't care if someone likes me or not. She said she is there to support everyone, and she wants to see her non-supporters get health care and a living wage just as she does for her supporters. That's in contrast from how we're seeing this partisan politics play out that is trying to suggest some people don't deserve it. In fact, we label them as evil, Satan-like devils. And this is happening on both sides. I'm not in any way suggesting it's one-dimensional. But what I'm saying is, here is a younger politician, a female politician, who really gets it, articulates it well, is a powerful speaker. And folks who want to dismiss her and somehow, talk about her background as a bartender, how young she is, how naive she is. No, this is a very, very smart individual who is making a stand against greed, who is not taking money from big corporations and lobbyists, who is out in the forefront saying, I don't think Congress should be buying individual stocks and profiting from them, as we see going on across the board, across the parties. So she's, I think, a credible voice. I see as becoming more credible over the years. I don't think she's a viable candidate for the Democrats in 2028, but I think if the trajectory continues, she will continue to be quite a force. I think her communication strategies are worth studying, learning from, and for many emulating. Thanks so much. Hope you enjoyed it.